as a school that they were more interested in learning about. So let me introduce you here. Right over here is Vincent, followed by Jasmine and Gia, Jade, Colin, and Raymond.
Okay. Vincent, Jasmine, Jade, Rhea, and Raymond.
Gia is right here. Wave, Gia.
Okay.
Raymond. Go ahead. Wait. And Colin is right next to you here.
All right.
All right. So they have some questions for you about Georgia Tech.
All right. Well, I'm ready to take questions as long as you are ready to fire them off.
All right. Go ahead, Vincent.
What is your school mascot and school colors?
Our mascot, we have two mascots actually. Our first mascot is the Yellow Jacket. And so just the way you would associate with a bumblebee, or a lot of times people think of it as a bumblebee, but it's actually a yellow jacket. And that comes from our students early in the history of the school would wear yellow jackets. And so that's how that name came about. And our school colors are gold and white. Our second mascot is the Ramblin' Wreck, and it's our car. It leads the football team onto the fields before games, makes appearances at alumni events and other things that people would be interested in having some representation from Georgia Tech at. And so it is a Model T from 1940, I believe, 1941. And so it's been a mascot as well for the school for a long time. There's a student group on campus that gets to take care of them.
Now, does Buzz ever ride in the Rambling Wreck?
Buzz does ride in the Rambling Wreck often. I don't have any pictures in this office I can show, but you can easily find one on a Google search with Buzz in the Rambling Wreck.
Excellent. Got it. So number 2 he answered for us already.
Okay, how many students attend your college or university?
For our undergraduate population, there are about 14,000 undergraduate students.
Wow. Okay, so we just finished up an interview with Michigan State, and they were at over 46,000. So quite a smaller school in Georgia Tech. But,
it is.
Still have you still attending a great school regardless of the size. Go ahead, Jasmine.
How many students start college at your school each year?
For incoming freshmen.
For incoming freshmen, each fall we have a class of about 2,700 students.
Excellent.
So about 2,700.
So that's a big difference. We're graduating only 105 from our school, which is a very small elementary school, K-2. So we're graduating 105. So big difference from the amount of people that would be starting school with you when you go to the Georgia Tech. Go ahead.
How big are your class sizes?
Our class sizes vary, but for the most part, you'll find classes that are about 60 to 70 students. You'll find some classes that are larger than that, but you'll also find plenty of classes that are smaller than that.
What types of sports were offered at your school?
We offer the normal sports you would think of: basketball, baseball. Our baseball team actually was the conference champions this season. Tennis, golf, volleyball, swimming. We don't have a varsity soccer team, but we do have students that do play soccer on campus.
Is it a club sport?
It is a club sport.
Okay, so you do get to travel.
Yes, you would get to travel with it, but it's not televised or NCAA regulated the same way that football is.
Correct.
And our campus recreation center is considered to be the best in the country. It's got an Olympic-sized swimming pool and an Olympic-sized diving pool, because it was used for the Olympics in '96.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Go ahead, Gia.
What types of things are there to do at your college?
We have a lot to do on campus and around the city. So we are located in Atlanta, which is a very large city. But we have a traditional campus that students are using, experiencing. So students are doing things like joining fraternities and sororities, having cooking clubs that they join, the clubs or organizations that they join through the campus recreation center, so playing sports on campus. But then there are a lot of things to do around the city. We have the Georgia Aquarium, which is a great place. It's got the world's largest dolphin exhibit, as well as there's the world of Coca-Cola. So you can try all the different types of soda from around the world. There's our professional sports team, so the Braves and the Falcons and the Hawks. So students can go and watch professional basketball, football, or baseball as well.
Excellent. So you kind of get that campus environment, but you're still in a larger city.
Yes.
Excellent. Go ahead, Gia.
Do you have any rivals?
We have one rival. If you all are familiar with the University of Georgia, they're our main rival that we share a mutual hate for.
Now, do you guys play each other regularly in football?
We do. That is the final game of the season for both teams.
Excellent. Now, you're not in the same conference, though. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're in the ACC and they're in the SEC.
Now, when we spoke, we actually spoke with a representative from Georgia, and they had told us when they play Florida that they play at a neutral site. Is that the same with the Georgia Tech game?
It is not. It rotates back and forth between the two campuses.
Oh, excellent. So if you are attend Georgia Tech, you'll have the option at least twice to see a home game versus Georgia.
That's correct.
All right. Go ahead, Jade.
What is your college best known for?
We're most well known for our College of Engineering. We have more than half our students are in the College of Engineering. The college itself is ranked number 5 in the country, number 8 in the world. And we're also one of the leading producers of women engineers, Hispanic engineers, and African American engineers. So a lot of the populations that are also underrepresented in engineering and STEM fields find a home here at Georgia Tech.
Excellent. I'm sorry, Gia. You can go back to that last one.
Does your college have any traditions?
We have a lot of traditions, actually. One of them, my favorite, is the whistle. So a lot of campuses have a bell tower that rings at the top of every hour to let you know what time it is. We have a whistle that blows every 5 minutes before the hour. So that way you know what time it is from the whistle. And you can hear the whistle throughout most of the city. Oh, wow. The Ramblin' Wreck is one of our traditions. Another one is George P. Burdell. One of our students, around the beginning of the 1900s, decided that he wanted to play a prank. And when he applied to come to Georgia Tech, he also submitted an application for his principal from high school. And both were admitted. So while he was here, he did twice the work. And when he graduated, his principal also graduated. He made up a fake name, which is George P. Burdell. And George P. Burdell has actually managed to get every degree from Georgia Tech throughout the course of his time here at the Institute. So he's done the work somehow or another and has managed to graduate plenty of different times.
See, now we could apply Mr. Palmer to Georgia Tech when you guys apply there. You could apply for Mr. Palmer and get him a degree from Georgia Tech. Go ahead, Jade.
Why do most people choose to attend to your school?
Why do most people choose to come to Georgia Tech?
Yes.
Most people choose to come because they are certainly very well interested in engineering, but we offer a number of other majors, and they all have some incorporation of science and technology. So using the computer, designing applications for your phone and computer. So students are very well versed in using technology however it applies to their area and career of interest, whether that's engineering or whether that's going into business or whether that's going into politics.
Now, do you guys offer a major in game or software design?
We do. That is one of our popular majors. It's actually called computational media. Okay. So it incorporates a lot of the using the computer to design video games, create websites, edit film and music. A lot of the things that were in print, so newspapers and magazines, are now moving to online mediums. And so students are also being versed in how to move those kind of apparatus to the computer as well.
Excellent.
How big is your campus?
I'm sorry, Jade, I can't hear you.
How large is your campus?
Oh, it's a couple of city blocks. To give you a frame of reference, it's about 500 acres, and an acre equals a football field. So it's about 500 football fields.
Wow. Go ahead, Colin.
How do most students get around the campus?
Well, even though I just told you our campus is 500 football fields, it's very easy to get around and walk. So it's not a particularly large campus in comparison to someone. I guess you also just spoke to Michigan State recently.
Yes.
Their campus, to have 40,000 students, must be much larger than ours. So ours is relatively small in comparison. So a lot of students find it's easy to walk through campus. And even though we're located right in the middle of downtown Atlanta, it's solely a campus. So you're not going to find any of the Atlanta buildings interrupting our campus. So a lot of students walk from one side of campus to the other. It's about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to do so. We also have a number of buses. So we have a bus line and a trolley that go to a number of locations throughout campus and through the city. And both of those, I don't think any of you all are old enough to have any smartphones yet, but your parents probably do. So those are GPS equipped, those buses are. So you can use your smartphone to see exactly where the bus is and how much longer it's going to be till it gets to where you are.
Wow, what a unique feature! That's the first we've ever heard of that, and several of the schools have mentioned the bus systems that they have. So that's incredible. Go ahead, Colin.
It was designed by our Georgia Tech students, so that's just one of the many ways they put their degrees to work while they're here.
Excellent.
What are the most popular areas of study at your school?
Most popular areas of study.
Engineering, of course, and then after that it'd be computers, and then other science fields, biology, chemistry, that kind of stuff. And we also offer majors in management, also offer majors in if you are familiar with liberal arts areas, so that would be more rounded areas of study like English, history. We offer those degrees as well. And then also architecture is another option for students as well.
Excellent. Go ahead, Colin. Last one.
What is the cost of your school?
For the total cost for a student is about $35,000 to $40,000 a year. We do offer a number of scholarships. And we do offer a number of other ways to help offset the cost of attendance, but that's how much it would cost about a year for a student.
Excellent. So they do. Now, when you look at admissions at Georgia Tech, do you take the holistic approach where you take a look at the achievements that the students have done other than academic work, or is it strictly academic based?
It is also the things that students have done outside the classroom. So we also look at students' academic work inside the classroom, their standardized test scores, their extracurricular leadership and involvement, and then every student has to write an essay as well.
Excellent. Raymond, why don't you go on to 18?
Do you have any famous
Alumni.
The one that immediately springs to mind is President Jimmy Carter. He's an alumni of Georgia Tech. There are a number of other basketball players that come to mind. Chris Bosh and Stephon Marbury are one. One of the astronauts that was recently in the space station, she's an alumni of Georgia Tech. Who are other notable alumni? I'm more familiar with athletes, but we have a number of other ones that are involved in engineering. Oh, the owner of Coca-Cola and the CEO of Walmart are also alumni.
Cool. Last one, go ahead.
What do you like the most about your college?
I'm a fan of the fact that it's a traditional college campus feel, but it's located right in the middle of a major city. So students don't typically find that incorporation of both types of feels with their collegiate experience. A lot of times you either get the traditional college campus feel and you don't get the city, or a lot of times you get the city without the college feel. And students here at Georgia Tech have both.
I found that to be one of the more interesting things when I started to research Georgia Tech for the students here. I wasn't really familiar with its location, although I knew it was in Georgia, of course. But once I started reading up about it, I found that that's pretty unique to find that campus-style college located in a major city. When you think of city schools, you might think of, NYU up here, Cornell, Columbia that are up in our area up here, which are located in a city, but their campus doesn't exist. It exists among the city blocks of New York City. Whereas
Right.
when you look at Georgia Tech, it's its own entity surrounded by the city.
Yes, Atlanta's it's not a planned city, and it was more of a terminus for the railroads, as the railroads developed. And so when Georgia Tech was founded in 1890, the city didn't really exist at that point, and so Georgia Tech was here first, and then the city kind of grew up around the campus.
Excellent. You guys have any other questions for Mr. Briggs? No? Well, Mr. Briggs, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to... Oh, go ahead, Raymond.
Do you have any football championships?
We do. We have 4 football championships. Our most recent one was in 1993. So we have won 4 national championships, and we also were the ACC conference champions in 2010.
Excellent. That was a great question, Raymond. All right, Mr. Briggs, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. As you say, we're trying to inspire these children to think outside the box and reach for their dreams, and look outside of our 1 square mile town here in Keansburg and find out that there's a world of opportunities out there for them.
Well, thank you all for your questions, and go Jackets, all right?
Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.
You too.